guess is as good as mine. Don't!
Have you ever played a new game in a franchise, realize it feels different but better in so many ways you couldn't really describe, but in ways you also could? That's how I felt playing the demo for Final Fantasy 16. There are very noticeable differences here. Hi, my name is Phantom, and today I want to share my thoughts on Final Fantasy 16. I want to start off with a very clear difference in gameplay and style. The gameplay feels like it was simplified somehow, in a good way. I don't believe that it's better than Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat, but I do believe that it is immensely better than 15's. Maybe that's not saying much since I wasn't a fan of Square Enix's Final Fantasy 15, but I can confidently say that I don't think I'll be alone on this opinion. The combat feels kind of like a mix of Seven style and flashiness, but also carrying a fantasy like weight to combat that I can only closely compare to The Witcher or Dragon's Dogma without the slow and heavy weight behind each attack. It feels brand new, and I believe that this change makes combat feel fun and over the top without feeling like too much is going on at the same time. Sadly, though, the enemies feel too slow and predictable to actually make me feel like I have a challenge. As I was playing this demo, I did play on the hardest difficulty possible, which felt like any other game's normal mode. If they don't have a way to fix this, well, I could sadly say that this is my biggest problem with the game besides its frame rate issues. Coming on to the performance side of Final Fantasy, I came out very mixed on this demo. I experienced many times in which my frames dropped and it didn't even seem to matter where I was, it just kept happening. It's not something that I can track on PS5 since I don't really have that sort of technology, just something I could like see. But luckily, this game's graphics still look really impressive and distracted me from these dips. Everything in this game looks fantastic. The color tone definitely switches since 15 from its tropical, colorful world to this now dark and gritty fantasy that seems war torn, just like its story suggests. And oh my god, the story. I may have only touched a small surface of what this game came to offer, but in that small amount of time, this story invested me in a way I didn't think I like was possible in such a short amount of time. This intro was not only impressive on a narrative standpoint, in which I can literally see the burn marks on their paper from how fire the narrative was, but it ended up being perfectly executed as well by its brand new impressive way to make Final Fantasy more cinematic than any of its prior releases. This demo made me feel like I was sitting down to watch an actual movie where I saw caring relationships between characters, a twist that gets foreshadowed yet I never expected, and one of the darkest scenes I think I've ever seen in gaming history. This game has an opportunity to be one of the best. If it feels this strong all the way to the end, everything about this demo not only left me satisfied, but also left me wanting more. I truly believe that this game could set a higher standard to dark stories being told not only in Final Fantasy, but also the entire gaming world. And this came as a surprise, as at first, when watching the trailer for this game very long ago, I genuinely wasn't convinced. I thought it was going to be boring. I thought it was just going to be like another open world Final Fantasy game with like maybe a small darker twist that they wouldn't perform well. But I can say that this is far from the truth. And I am completely ready to say that I have been convinced, and this demo was an extremely strong choice from Square Enix to convince us all that Final Fantasy can remain such an amazing game even on such a long franchise that keeps making changes. Because most games that make these type of changes usually just don't work. You change a game so much that usually you'll lose half of the community, but I feel like this was the sort of big change in their games, and it feels like they stuck true to home with the Final Fantasy world and the Final Fantasy story to tell, with the characters feeling very Final Fantasy like, but also changing it just slightly to make this brand new story that I don't think Final Fantasy has ever touched before. And I'm a recent Final Fantasy fan, so I don't know if my opinion matters here, but I've only played 7 and 15, but I could say that this definitely feels different, but better to me. Firstly, I want to say that yes, if you have any plans to buy this game, try out the demo for yourself. It's free and an amazing experience that I believe will set you up with everything you need to know. Not only that, but your progress gets brought to the actual game if you decide to buy it. If you're not a fan of frame rate dips in your video games, then this game it will definitely not be for you, as it was easily the biggest negative of the game for me. I give this game slash demo a 9.5 out of 10, and I strongly want to play this soon. And if you do plan to play this soon, it will be coming out soon on June 21st, 2023 to the PlayStation 5 console only, because I believe it's some 6-month exclusive thing. If you enjoyed this review, please drop a like. And if you want more content like this, please subscribe. That's it from me. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. I'd also just like to add one last thing, and it's literally my reaction at 2 in the morning when I finished this demo for the very first time. Holy shit! God damn! That's all I gotta. I gotta clap that up. What in the absolute fuck? That was amazing. Amazing.